Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and felt like, how did I even get here? How did I become someone who accepts being treated like an afterthought? Maybe you've spent most time wondering if you'll ever be truly valued. If you've ever asked these questions, then this video is for you. Today, we're going to discuss how to rebuild your self-worth, most especially after coming out of a relationship where you feel like an option instead of a priority. This isn't just a feel-good talk. It's about real, actionable steps you can take to heal, grow, and rediscover your worth. We'll explore why being treated like an option is so damaging, how it affects your self-esteem, and most importantly, how you can reclaim yourself. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to rise above the pain and start building a life where you're not just an option, but rather the priority in your next relationship. So grab a notebook, take a deep breath, and stick with me till the end, because what you're about to learn could change everything. When someone treats you like an option, it doesn't just hurt in the moment, it lingers. It becomes a voice in your head, whispering, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not enough. You might start replaying moments over and over. If only I had been more patient. If only I hadn't spoken up. Or worse, maybe if I looked different or acted differently, they'd have treated me right, or I would have been valued. But let's pause right here. I want you to ask yourself one question. Why am I taking responsibility for someone else's failure to value me? The truth is, their inability to see your worth says everything about them and nothing about you. But I know, it's not easy to separate their actions from yourself. That's why this healing journey is so important. You don't just need to move on. You need to rebuild the way you see yourself brick by brick. And how can you rebuild your self-worth and position yourself as a priority in the next relationship? Step 1. Acknowledge what you've been through. The first step is to stop pretending you're okay when you're not. And I get it. That's easier said than done. We live in a world that tells us to stay strong, to move on, to keep busy, but ignoring the pain doesn't make it go away. It buries it. So, what should you do? You should take a moment to reflect. How did being treated like an option make you feel? Forgotten? Unseen? Maybe even ashamed? Write it down. Don't filter it. Be honest with yourself. Here's why this matters. Healing starts with acknowledgement. You can't rebuild your self-worth without first confronting the moments that made you question it. It's like cleaning a wound before it can heal. Yes, it stings, but it's necessary. And trust me, you're strong enough to face this. Step 2. Stop seeking validation from others. This step might hit close to home. Think about how much of your happiness has depended on someone else's approval. A text, a compliment, a simple "I miss you." How often have you waited for these crumbs of validation? Here's the hard truth. The more you rely on others to validate your worth, the more power you give them to take it away. Start small. Every morning, write down one thing you love about yourself. Maybe it's your resilience. Maybe it's your humor. Maybe it's the fact that, even after everything, you're still here trying. Validation doesn't happen overnight. It's a habit you build. But the more you practice, the less you'll need someone else to tell you you're enough. Because you'll already know it. Step 3. Set boundaries and stick to them. Let's talk about boundaries, which is one of the most empowering yet challenging steps in this journey. When you've been treated like an option, it's easy to let your boundaries slip. You don't want to rock the boat. You're scared they'll leave. But here's the thing. Every time you ignore your boundaries, you're teaching people it's okay to put you last. So ask yourself, what am I no longer willing to tolerate? Is it last-minute cancellations? Emotional unavailability? Being made to feel small? Write it down, and then enforce it. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about creating space for respect and peace. And yes, it's hard at first. People might resist. But the ones who truly value you will respect your boundaries, not cross them. Step 4. Reconnect with your passions. When was the last time you did something that made you feel truly alive? Not for anyone else, but for you? When you're consumed by a relationship, it's easy to lose sight of yourself. But now's the time to reconnect with what makes you you. Think about it. What hobbies have you set aside? What dreams have you put on hold? Maybe it's painting, dancing, writing, or starting a new business. Maybe it's something as simple as spending more time in nature. This isn't just about distraction. It's about rediscovering your joy. The more you invest in your passions, the more you'll remember how valuable and whole you are on your own. Step 5. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. You've heard it before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So ask yourself, are the people around you lifting you up or tearing you down? If you've been surrounded by people who make you feel small, it's time for a change. Seek out friends, family, and mentors who see your worth. People who celebrate your wins and support you through your losses. Because here's the truth. The more you surround yourself with love and positivity, the more you'll start to reflect it back onto yourself. Step 6. Forgive yourself and move on. Let me say this loud and clear. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean excusing what happened. It means releasing the guilt that's holding you back. You stayed too long? That's okay. You were hopeful. You ignored the red flags? That's okay. You believed in love. You gave too much? That's okay. You have a big heart. Forgive yourself. Let go of the what-ifs and the should-haves. Because the moment you let go is the moment you make space for something better. Finally, I want you to take a moment and really let this sink in. You're not defined by the way someone else treated you. Your worth isn't measured by how much someone gave or didn't give you. It's measured by how much you choose to love, respect, and value yourself moving forward. Rebuilding your self-worth is a journey. And yes, it takes time. But every small step you take, whether it's setting boundaries, reconnecting with your passions, or surrounding yourself with the right people, is a step toward becoming the confident, empowered version of who you should be. Now, take what you've learned here and apply it. Don't just listen, act. Because the life you want, the respect you deserve, and the love you're worthy of all start with you. And let me leave you with this thought. The moment you realize your worth is the moment you'll stop giving unworthy people discounts. Carry that with you, and never settle for less than what you deserve. If this video resonated with you, take the first step toward reclaiming your worth by clicking that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's one step you're going to start today? And don't forget to share this video with someone who might need these reminders. Most importantly, subscribe to Polka Love for more tips on love, healing, and building stronger relationships. Your journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning. In our next video, we'll talk about why do we accept less in relationships and how to stop settling for less. If you've ever felt like you're compromising too much, this is the video you need to watch. And if you missed part 1 of this series, titled, Am I a Priority or Just an Option? Signs to look for in your relationship, check it out within our channel and watch the part 1, and you'll have me to thank later. Together, these videos will give you the clarity and tools to create the life and relationships you truly deserve. Remember, you are not an option. You are a priority, and it's time you start living like one. Until the next vid, stay polka.